Uptober, Pumptober, Bigtober, whatever you want to call it, without a doubt, we're in store for something, how do I say, very big in the next 30 days, but also 60 to 90 days as we finish out the year 2025. And as we know, we just closed September green. That has happened 6 times in Bitcoin's history, and every single time Bitcoin has closed green in September, it has gone on to gain a lot in quarter 4, over 50%. We're in store for something potentially bigger than I think a lot of people realize. 9 of the last 10 Octobers have been green. Today we started off with a little bit of a pump, but what if I told you that the pump we're seeing right now on Bitcoin, or dump, depending on what it's doing at this very second, doesn't really matter, is going to leave a lot of people aching, begging, squealing, crying on their knees for more. Not because we're not going to get enough, but simply because we're going to get too much. Quarter 4 historically is also just extremely bullish in general. We're now, as of today, beginning quarter 4, 2025, after what I would consider to be pretty good year for Bitcoin, not a good year for altcoins, not a great year for crypto in general. Really, really, really good year actually for Bitcoin, but for everything else, not great. But we're entering quarter 4, which historically is a reason to be extremely, extremely excited. And with gold leading the way, it's time for Bitcoin to catch up. If we look here, you can see in gray is gold right here, and in red is Bitcoin. In this gray box is periods where gold has pumped massively, and in this white box is where Bitcoin catches up. And it's almost time for Bitcoin to start catching up. The altcoin rally, as we all know, has yet to begin. Massive cup and handle forming for multiple years at this point. Basically, since the last alt season, so basically like 4 years ago, this has been forming. The longer the consolidation, the bigger the bust. The longer you hold it in, the more juice comes out when you finally squeeze it. This powerful signal has flashed 9 times this cycle. On average, has resulted in about a 35% gain for Bitcoin, and it just flashed again. Potentially time for expansion. If we look at where that would put Bitcoin, if we had about a 35% upside move from where we currently are, that puts Bitcoin at about $160,000 per coin. Big or not big enough? Is it also time for this pattern to repeat? Quarter 4 2023, big pumpy. Quarter 4 2024, big pumpy. Quarter 4 2025, will it be a big pumpy or a mega big pumpy? Those are your 2 options. I don't make the rules. Those are the 2 options, big or mega big. The odds of an October rate cut are now at 100%. Cool. We're seeing rate cuts actually start following through as predicted. And with Bitcoin currently breaking out, after a fake out, Bitcoin is finally potentially making a move out of here. What Titan of Crypto on X says, let's see if this move holds or if it's just more manipulation. Well, that combined with Pumptober, Pumpvember, and Big December, I think things are about to get a little bigger than something really big. Bitcoin has also surpassed Amazon to become the 7th largest asset on planet Girth. I'm not one to say something is big very often unless it's pretty big, and let's just say this is pretty big. We also have about $7.2 billion in shorts that will get liquidated when Bitcoin hits a new all-time high, further pushing the price of Bitcoin up, further giving the Moon Boys all the juice they could ever need, and even then some. And we're also seeing Bitcoin spot ETFs buying again. This is pretty good for the entire space. And we've also seen Bitcoin has had its highest quarterly candle ever, making history there. Let's just say this is pretty cool, pretty big. We're seeing Bitcoin dominance on its second bi-weekly candle in green, still very low, still not a crazy bounce, but at about 56, 57%, currently at about 58.9%. So a little bit of a bounce. Is this going to be short-lived? Okay, because there's a couple options here. We have a little bit of a, let's say we extend this trend line, maybe we come up to about 64, 65 rejection. Possible. Is it possible that we even have a smaller bounce and then true alt season really kicks in here? What do you think are the most likely options here? We do have kind of this range here between 57 and 62% dominance historically has been kind of tight for Bitcoin dominance. Really, if you care about altcoins at all, then this is probably the most important chart to you, because this chart and this chart, which is just the entire altcoin chart, really, even though we haven't moved in a couple of weeks, it still looks fantastic. It's still just sitting right below previous all-time highs. Make no mistake, I think it's very likely. I think it's extremely likely in this Q4, we're going to see this chart do something like this, maybe even like this. Wow. That's pretty big. Ethereum as well, it looks exactly the same basically as the entire altcoin chart, because Ethereum is the biggest altcoin and it absolutely is crucial for altcoin season in general. And in a single daily candle so far, Bitcoin has busted above both of the key daily moving averages, the 21 and 50. Just yesterday, we were sitting like right underneath it at about 113,000.5. We've gone so far all the way up to about 118,000. We're down a little bit, but ultimately on the daily, showing a lot of strength for Bitcoin. More importantly, though, the weekly chart for Bitcoin. Man, look at the RSI actually on that. Look at that bad boy. Before major liftoff, this is our fifth week actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pretty much. 6 weeks. We've just been sitting on the 21-week moving average, building it as support. If we lift off of here, which it very much looks like we could do here, there's a lot of things actually kind of, giving all the data, all the technicals, all the history, everything is just signaling to us, yeah, like this thing should be moving up big time. And on this weekly chart, I mean, man, I don't know. As I said, I think maybe the 21-week moving average is like your last best entry. As I said though before, this would be a gift from God, literally like another pullback to the 50-week at about 100K exactly. I don't think we're going to get that. I think that's too good to be true. I don't think if we get a dump like that, well, one, if we did get a crash like that, you would have like seconds to buy it up, in my opinion, before it just giga bounces. But I just don't even think we're going to go down there. As I said, though, if we did, I would be looking for leftover pennies under my couch to try to put into this market, because it would be the buying opportunity of the rest of this bull market. Also, the S&P 500 just hit a new all-time high. Up today. The NASDAQ is up today. The Dow Jones is up today. Stocks are up today. The government shutdown began today. Who cares? Happens pretty frequently, actually. And Bitcoin's up today. The US dollar's down. US dollar's sinking. It looks awful. It's been for a long time. Altcoins up a little bit today. Bitcoin up today. 5, 6, 7% on a lot of these altcoins as well. Most importantly, however, is the weekly chart and daily chart for Bitcoin. Specifically, the weekly chart is the most important, in my opinion. And after all of these weeks of sideways trading, you see it really nicely on this chart, but also look at all of this sideways consolidation. Potentially as well, looks like a potential inverse head and shoulder, with the neckline being literally exactly where we're at right now, like right here. A break above this being a breakout of this potential inverse head and shoulder. Things, in my opinion, look extremely bullish, and I fail to see how they don't get more bullish from here. Remember, September closing green is historically a very good sign for Bitcoin, and even when it doesn't close green, October, November, and December are typically not bad. Specifically, Q4 is very good for risk on assets, and more specifically for Bitcoin. So we got the most bullish case scenario for that setup in terms of what we should expect. 9 of the last 10 Octobers have been green. So will this time be any different? Or is this going to be the beginning of a much more pumpy Q4? Because as I said, if we actually, look at this, and if we just look at what's gone on the entirety of, let's go back to the very beginning, right here. This is where 2025 started. We started actually with a nice dump for basically the first like 3 or 4 months. But ever since April, we've been going up. And this is the best basically performing crypto asset is Bitcoin. And it's like up, but it's not like crazy good. For example, we look at the entire altcoin market at the very beginning of 2025, right here, this line. Alts are actually basically at break even of where they were when we started the year, up here right around 1.63 trillion. So they basically haven't done anything. It's basically been sideways. We had a big dump, opportunity to buy, but now we're just sitting back where we started the year. So yes, altcoins have been underperforming. Yes, we're like just now, again, just sitting back at those previous all-time highs from 4 years ago, meaning altcoins have done horribly. Is it possible we finally have some relief and this last quarter of the year, historically very bullish for crypto and altcoins and Bitcoin, finally maybe have a really good quarter? You know, you can only get beaten down so much before the market starts pumping. If you push down on something enough, like a beach ball or a volleyball or something that's really bouncy, if you push on it enough, eventually it'll pop. And what if I said that's pretty much exactly what's going to happen? Would you believe me, or would you think that I'm full of baloney? Let's just say I think we're about to go higher than something that's very, very high. And you have 7 days left. Sign up to get $10 free, up to $2,000 additional bonus, and then up to an additional $30,000 deposit bonus if you sign up with Phemex below, using the link below, Phemex, BYBIT, or BITUNIX. And without any further ado,